It's our regular meeting. Roll call, please, Kevin.
Sure. Donna Corbin Sabinski.
Here.
Kevin Zordas present. Carrie Ann Howe.
Here.
John Hayes.
Here.
Robert Shagden is absent. Charlotte Riley.
Here.
Jane Smith.
Here.
Joseph Mueller.
Here.
And Virginia Higley.
Yeah, Ginny sent an email to me. She apologizes she couldn't be here tonight, but she had a slight mishap and can't make it. But she was looking forward to coming back and being with us again, so hopefully in our next meeting she'll be here. Fire evacuation procedures. In case of fire, there are two ways to exit the chambers. To my left through the council chamber doors, turn left and walk down the flight of stairs, or exit the door in the back of the chambers. Either case, walk a safe distance from the building. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is public participation. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak regarding issues not on the agenda? Again, is there anybody in the audience to speak regarding issues not on the agenda? And one final time, anybody want to speak regarding issues not on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move forward. Next on the agenda is correspondence. We did get a email on Tuesday, April 11th, reminding us of a public forum on Freedom of Information Act. It's next Wednesday, May 10th at 6:30 at the Senior Center. They're usually very, gives us a lot of information. They're really good. So if you can make it, that'd be great. And I believe it's open to the public as well. So it is a good meeting to go to. We received an email on April 13th, and it was regarding, the planning office has been updating their forms and instructions, and they just sent us a copy of their latest proposals for the new forms when people come for applications and that. So maybe Jen can speak to it later. Yeah, I don't know, have they accepted them, or do they go to the town attorney, somebody suggested, or?
I actually have not been part of that process. I was
Okay.
away for like 2 weeks, so I'm not up to date on that. But
Maybe Roger can fill us in next time.
yeah, we can definitely get the information to you.
Yeah.
You have the forms, right? You've been reviewing
Yeah,
them?
they did send us a copy of them.
All right, so
I didn't know if
yeah.
they go through an approval process, or,
I'd have to talk to Roger about that.
but they do look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Cleaned up.
Cleaned up and everything. We did receive our copy of the Habitat for Winter 2017, if everybody did get those. Those also have nice articles in them. Yep. We received a email of the members of our commission, and that's pretty much it. Okay, take that one off. Commissioners' correspondence, any site visits or anything? To my right, anybody have any? To my left? No. Moving forward, approval of minutes. We should have approved March 7th, but we don't have them available, so we're going to have to postpone until our next meeting. Then we're now on to new business. It's XIW number 1615, pavement preservation, Post Office Road, application for pavement preservation of Post Office Road project, year 3, Town of Enfield owner, Town of Engineering Department applicant.
Good evening.
Yeah.
I'm John Cabibbo, Assistant Town Engineer. I have with me here Bill Anderson from VHB. They are our design consultant on this titled Pavement Preservation, Year 3. The entire project, well, let's go through, let's see if we can, here we go. Okay, so this is our roads team in general. This is part of the roads referendum, the 5-year program that we're working on. So this is the 3rd year for pavement preservation, and all the work on this phase is on Post Office Road. These are the items that we're going to go through. We're going to go through some project specifics, project limits, description, and then a general summary. And if you have some questions at the end, we're here to answer those. This is basically what we're going to be doing Most of the road work is going to be reclaiming, which is, we have equipment that comes in, churns up the pavement that is there into the base material, and we reutilize that material for base. And then, of course, we have that moved, graded, rolled, and then we pave over that. There is a section on the western end of the project area that will only be milling and paving, and all these decisions for design are based on pavement borings that we do and that we have done on this project to see what we have underneath, see the best use of that material, or if it's not usable at all. We're talking about very minor realignments vertically and horizontally, and we're talking about inches, really. And the vertical is just to get the drainage to work a little better. I'm sure you've all been down Post Office Road, and there are areas that need to drain a little better. We have enough drainage structures out there. It's just that, over the years of any road, you lose some of the pitch necessary to get the water to the structures. So those are the type of things that it's going to happen. The curbing in the section that we're doing will be replaced in kind, which is as blacktop curbing, which is town standard. And we'll be doing some minor improvements to the drainage system. All the basin tops will be getting new. We'll be putting new tops on them. And the structures right before the outlets are going to be 4-foot sump as opposed to the 2-foot standard, and those will have hoods on them for to catch floatables. And this is basically, there's 22 new catch basin tops. 3 of the catch basins were in a condition that they needed to be replaced. They'll be replaced in place. We're not moving them. Of course, any areas that we disturb along the sides of the road, we'll be reestablishing turf. And basically, the erosion control in this project, all our work is pretty much lower than the terrain outside of the road, and we'll be digging down before we get the road paved again. So, although we do have an item in the contract for silt fencing, and we have a quantity, we probably won't need it, but we will have silt sacks on all the structures to catch any sediment that may happen during the project, which is standard procedure for us. There are a few culverts, actually there's one cross culvert,
Yes.
and then there's a couple of other outlets, but we don't have any plans to do anything. We did look at them. They seem to be in working condition. So this is an overview of the whole project. You'll notice here, this section, I'm sure if you've driven out there, you notice that we've done this section already in a previous phase. So basically, we'll be going from Raffia Road, skipping this section for pavement work, and then continuing up a few hundred feet past Oliver Road. And this is noting where that cross culvert is that I just spoke about. This is starting at the west end, looking towards Oliver Road intersection here. And this is just taking a little tour down the road. You can see basically that most of this terrain and the sidewalks are higher than the road itself, so we don't anticipate needing much in the ways of silt fencing. Here we're coming up on the school area. This beginning area up to about the school is the mill and pave.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, this road was actually reconstructed in 1983 under the town got a state award at that time. So this area, the base is quite good, so we don't need to do as much in this area. And then past that, going towards Steel Road, we will need to, based on the borings, we'll need to do the reclamation. these are a couple of these are the type of areas, and now this is in a dry time. But you can see where we have some areas that have water sitting, and that those are the minor changes vertically to get this water to the drainage structures. Now this is skipped to this is Belinda Lane is over here, so this is skipping past the section we just completed last phase. And this is the crossing here. Some of the work that we are doing here, though, we're actually reducing the impervious area on the road. This section here, this basin's going to be turned into a manhole, and we're going to bring the catch basin out here. And you see how the curb cuts back and then comes back out? We're trying to achieve as straight a curb line as we can. We also want to do that for snow removal purposes. It's better for our snow plows if they're running on a straight curb line, and it's better for drainage in those situations where we have the freeze and thaw situations. And this is the last section. This is Peggy Lane, and then down to Raffia. We're not quite going all the way to Raffia Road.
Yeah, stop at maybe 100 feet or so.
Yeah, about 100 feet away from there. So this is the cross-section for the milling paving. Again, this is about the first 900 feet starting near Oliver Road. I know you all got a set of plans. I have them here in case, if you had specific questions, we'd be able to look at them on the screen. Then this is the section, the next section with the full depth reclamation. We say full depth here, we're talking about 15 inches down. So, I mean, we're churning up a good section of this material and mixing it together. And we've done this process on other streets in town. This is coming past the school. And then this is just before Steel Road where the other section begins. And then this is the last section. This one, the reclamation is not as deep here for the last section coming up to Raffia. Yeah, here's Belinda Lane. This is the section here we talked about with the culvert. You could see the manhole. This is going to be converted to a manhole and bring that catch basin more in line. So again, a minor deduction in impervious area, but it has a purpose. And that's Darrow. And then down to the end, this is about what we were talking about 100 feet from the intersection. These are the type of catch basin hoods that we use for catching floatables. Silt sacks are fairly standard during the construction period. And I think we have an item for cleaning out the drainage system.
Yeah, the entire drainage system will be cleaned as part of this contract.
So as part of the contract, the pipes that we have out there will be cleaned out. All the new basin tops are marked for no dumping. Again, that's a standard that we use on all of our road projects. Try to remind people, this is a silt fencing detail, although like I said, we don't necessarily have, we have it in there, but we don't necessarily need it. So basically, we'll be doing reclaiming on those two longer sections, milling and paving on the western section near Oliver Road and the school. Some upgrades to the system. We're basically staying with what's there, but so we have the biggest change really, I think, is the 4-foot sumps on the structures, the final structures before the outlets with the hoods. And so, although there are regulated areas in here, we're not excavating in any of those. We're staying basically within the bounds of the existing road. So with that, we'll open it up for questions, if you have any.
Anybody have any?
And it's fine if you don't have any. Don't feel obliged.
Oh, looks good.
Okay.
Is there a time that you expect this to begin, or?
We want to get this project done this year, this construction season, so, but we won't put it out to bid until, we come before you and we, hopefully if we get approval, we put the approval letter on this, it goes on the set and into the construction manual, so, but yes, we were looking to do it this construction season. And this process is a little faster than old-fashioned, full-depth reconstruction. Not a whole lot faster, but, and this, relatively speaking, we're talking about on one road, although it is a busy road, but it is one road, as opposed to a lot of the other projects that we have that are several roads in one section, so.
Should go easier.
With that?
Should go a little bit easier.
Hopefully it will. The other thing, I don't know that it necessarily pertains to wetlands, but we are going to be putting bicycle sharrows on the road, and that's in line with the town's complete streets and trying to get bicycle, accessibility. So instead of widening the road and adding pavement, this road here is more appropriate to have the bicycles share the road. So those will be painted on the pavement, and then we will be painting those on the section that was done last phase as part of this phase. We added that so that it's consistent. And just so you know, we will be completing this project in a phase for next year, which is actually under design now. So we'll be completing Post Office Road from where we're ending in Oliver all the way up towards Route 5. There was a small section we did near Route 5. We did a pavement treatment up there, but we'll be going up to there because I'm sure you've all driven on it, and it's not, that needs work also. And part of that project will be a portion of Post Road that comes in on the intersection. And I think we're going around to where it intersects with Phoenix Ave on Post Road. So that'll be the next phase of this. That's, next time you see me will be, well, no, for roads will be pavement preservation year 4. So,
Sounds good.
okay.
Make a motion? I'll make a motion to approve XIW number 1615 pavement preservation Post Office Road with our standard conditions.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Donna Corbin Sabinski,
Yes?
Kevin Zorda, yes. Carrie Ann Howe,
Yes.
John Hayes,
Yes.
and Jane Smith.
Yes.
Okay, 5 in favor, no against, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate your time, I really do, coming out on a beautiful night like
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah. No problem.
All right,
Thanks again.
I'll break it down then.
Okay.
Dear. Maybe we could change our rules.
Appreciate your time.
We'll talk about schedule and
Yes.
dates and to fill in.
Okay.
In the project. I know.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Thank you for
Take care.
coming.
Have a good night.
Next on the agenda is reports of officers and committees. I don't believe we have anything.
Just one thing, just the Powder Hill,
Oh, yeah.
Powder Hollow Sand and Gravel, going by there, they did kind of put grass seed down, so it's all grown up actually now, and it's, looks like they kind of are not doing anything right now. I know we did get an email, I think it was, that they were, it was suggested that they come back to us because their approval expired. So just wanted to let everybody know that it looks pretty stable now, since we're gonna be getting a bunch of rain this week.
Yeah,
Only 2 inches.
yeah, that's all.
And the berm over at the Creek School is completely gone now.
Yes, I noticed that.
They still need to seed it, but it's flat.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, or better, I should say. Next on the agenda is report of planning director.
So, I believe now we are waiting on an application for a project to update the Water Pollution Control Center, so
Yeah.
we're looking at that. Other than that, that's the only application we are looking to have in the office. In the office, we wanted to know, since you guys now have 2 alternate commission members, whether you would be interested in making a schedule for who votes when, for which months.
Jen and I talked a little bit earlier. In the past, when I've been on the board, we actually never had enough people for a quorum, so the alternates usually got seated. And now we have a good group of commissioners who actually come to our meetings, and we usually have a quorum, so we haven't seated people. But I guess the ruling, Jen looked it up, and if a member is absent, then we could seat an alternate, regardless of the quorum size. So the suggestion was like P and Z, I guess, and a couple other ones. What they do is they have a calendar, and they say one of the alternates gets like a month, and then the next one gets the next month, and so on and so forth. So we thought that could be an option.
Yep.
That makes
Basically,
sense.
If that makes sense to people, or,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I believe in your bylaws it requires a rotation so that there's about the same amount of,
so the alternates get a fair
yeah,
chance.
it evens out. You guys will get the same amount of times to sit, basically.
Yeah. In
So
the past,
I
we
would-
just, sat everybody because we needed everybody.
Right.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
so.
So we could
We
do
can,
that.
I
come up
can
with a
make
little
that
calendar.
schedule in the office and give it out at the next meeting. Yeah.
I wonder if you want to do it, maybe not monthly, but because like we haven't had a meeting like in April at all. So,
Yeah.
Every other meeting, just
or
switch.
maybe every other, it's up to
Every
the
other meeting?
alternates, what they think would be. Probably be good, so a little fair.
Okay, that works. We can do that.
Yeah, so we could just rotate every other meeting or something.
And that's assuming that there's somebody missing.
Right,
Right.
right.
It's not,
Right.
we wouldn't be adding them
No, if,
full.
No.
if a commissioner's, yeah, you can't. So if there's a commissioner missing, then they would take that spot.
So we could have voted tonight. One of them could.
One of them could have, yes, we could have seated him, since Ginny wasn't here, but,
And Bob.
and Bob's not here. Actually, we could have seated
Yeah,
him.
there's that both.
Well, what do they do in that case? There's 2 people missing. Could we seat both?
Then you can see both. Yeah.
Oh, so that works.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That even makes sense. That's even nice. So we'll start doing that.
So maybe
Alright.
we could keep note on this of who was
Seated. Yeah. And I have my own little spreadsheet I keep
Okay.
with attendance, so I'll keep it on there as well. So on who we
Okay.
seat. So that'd be great.
Yep.
Good. I'm glad because I feel bad they come and then they don't get to vote or, so
Yeah.
this makes it better.
Yep.
Thank you for proposing that. Old business is approval of bylaws, which we should have a copy of. We reviewed these and modified them a little bit quite a few months back, and we never brought them on the agenda to approve them, all our changes, so I was hoping we could do that today,
Yeah.
since it's actually on the agenda. So if anybody wants to review them, have any comments? Make a motion.
Has everybody read through these in their entirety with all the,
Yeah, all the
Okay.
changes? Yeah,
it's just I didn't want to have somebody vote if they haven't read them.
right. Yeah, these we did them back a while ago.
Yeah, they had
Right.
red marks on them.
And they had red marks on them of all the changes, remember?
So this is the revised copy.
That's the revised copy.
Even though there's no date, it says approved March 1, 2011, and no revision date on it.
Right, so once we approve it, then we'll have to update the date.
And you said that discussion about the seating the alternates is in the bylaws?
No, it's not in the bylaws. I didn't see
Yeah.
it.
But just in the regular, where,
Yep.
can you point it out to me? Because I'm not seeing it in here.
Yeah, I tried reading it when I got here.
Because I didn't remember seeing that when I was reviewing these before, so.
And all alternates may vote on the bylaw changes. So for
Right.
Tonight,
Meetings, section 2, quorum. Unless otherwise provided herein, members and/or alternates.
Yeah, but that doesn't,
yeah,
that's just about quorum, that doesn't specify
if somebody's
seating
out.
somebody if there's somebody
here.
missing. I don't remember seeing that in here, but
Yeah, I didn't either, but
is that in our other regulations?
Under alternates.
In that binder that we have from, whatever that was.
It's in Article 5, Officers and Their Duties. At the end of Section 2, it says, if any member of the agency is absent or is disqualified, the chairperson shall designate an alternate to so act, choosing alternates in rotation, so they shall act
There
as
we go.
nearly equal.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yep.
Done deal.
It's great. Feels good. So, do you have any comments or questions on?
I believe alternates can also vote on changes to the bylaws.
Yeah.
and make-
Yeah.
So,
So everybody can vote today, which is good. Yeah, yeah. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the current revision of the bylaws for the town of Enfield Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency, noted as bylaws for wetlands updated 1/17/17.
I will second.
Okay. Could we have
Roll call.
roll call?
Donna Corbin Sabinski.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda, yes. Carrie Ann Howe.
Yes.
John Hayes.
Yes.
Charlotte Riley.
Yes.
Jane Smith.
Yes.
Joseph Muller.
Yes.
7 in favor. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Do you remember the date we actually changed them? Because it has a revised date and an approved date, or are you just going to make it for today?
I believe they were
I don't remember when we
I
Revised.
would
actually.
assume
in
because we
January.
approved it today that it would have to
Right.
have today's
So-
revision date there.
yeah.
But I was just, the only reason I referenced was the file name was just so that
Yeah, so we know which one we're doing.
that's the one we're looking at.
Yeah.
I believe January 17th was when you guys
Advise them?
revised them, and then we changed them in office, and I'll fix the approved date to reflect today.
To today, okay. So
So.
today's May 2nd. Okay, perfect. That's good. Good, great.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Motion passes, meeting's adjourned.